it's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And today we are going to do a continuation of the Get Fit With Me series, Yoga Edition. The practice we're going to be doing today is called Amor. And it's roughly 24 minutes long. I'm not sure what to expect. I do see that there is definitely a pigeon pose. That's the thumbnail. But besides that, I'm not sure what to expect. But anyway, yeah, also you might notice I'm sporting a different look. I was inspired by that YouTube yogi, the other YouTube yogi that I did a practice on last week. And yeah, and plus the hair is not given what needs to be gave today, even worse than other times. So I was like, you know what? Helmet of salvation it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the routine, and we're going to get right to it. Start our practice today lying down.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. Be my night sky. You'll always be my.
We laid down in that pose for probably about 5 minutes. It was all about getting your breathing right and just kind of being present. So now from that, we are doing a stretch by putting our hands up over our head and pretty much going from there. After doing a stretch, we then put our knees into our chests, give ourselves a nice good hug, and then from there we are going to transition over to a supine twist on each side.
No sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
We're going to be kind of alternating the supine twist on each side a couple times in this practice. So you might see it happen, I believe it's like 2 or 3 times at least. After doing the supine twists quite a few times, we're now transitioning where we're going to be sitting up by rocking back and forth to get us to that point. Now that we are seated, we've sat up, we are now in a tabletop position, and from a tabletop position, we are now hovering. Hover, we are going to start doing some cat-cow poses, just to get warmed up.
Dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound,
From doing the cat-cow pose, we are going to, on both sides eventually, do a fire hydrant pose. And then from the fire hydrant pose of going back and forth, then we're just going to rotate our hips kind of in that same posture in the tabletop position. Doing this, of course, on both sides, as I mentioned before.
Figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two pass the line, but you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars.
After doing that on both sides, we are now rotating our hips just with both our knees on the ground in the tabletop position. Doing whatever variations you want to do, clockwise, counterclockwise, figure eight, but kind of a variation of a cat and cow, if you will. Next, we are doing a baby cobra, and we're doing that a couple times. The baby cobra, we now have basically our hands on the mat, and we're using our hands basically as like a pillow, and we're just rotating our hips back and forth lying down. There, we're going to kind of do this stretch where we're still lying down and we have our right hand out, and then we rotate where we're basically stretching our shoulders, and we're doing that on both sides. And there's different variations of how to do it, but I'm showing one way of doing so.
Figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two pass the line, but you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars. No sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
After getting the stretch on both sides, we are now going to transition into a regular cobra or upward facing dog, depending on what your preference is. The cobra, we are now going back to tabletop position. From there, we are putting that leg that we were doing the fire hydrant with, and we're stretching it out on the right side to get a little bit more of a stretch, and then kind of doing a little bit of like a variation of a lizard with that. Basically, you should have a similar feeling on your hips, just really stretching the hips out. I should also mention we are doing this on both sides, of course.
Dark so that I see when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. Figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars. No sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Once we complete this stretch on both sides, we're transitioning back to a regular tabletop, and from there we will end up in downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, we are going to make our way to the front of the mat, doing a downward forward bend. While in the downward forward bend position, we are doing a ragdoll to really stretch out. Since this is our first time doing a downward forward bend this whole practice.
No sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
From doing a downward forward bend, we are going to transition to a low lunge, but the low lunge is simply to transition into pretty much the major pose of this practice, which is a pigeon pose. And we're going to be doing that pigeon pose on both sides.
figure you out. Now I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two paths align. Right?
I should have mentioned, and for us to transition to that pigeon pose, there is going to be a downward facing dog in between both of doing this on both sides.
You always feel so far when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
Now that we have completed that sequence of getting the pigeon pose done to both sides, we are now moving towards a seated position where we're going to slowly lie down on our back, and we are very close to concluding today's practice for this.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Hi, so that concludes the yoga practice for today. I hope you enjoyed it. My review though is for Amor, aka Love. I enjoyed it probably a little bit more because Whisper was very animated and involved in it. I think if it was just me, it would have been kind of, it's all right. Yeah, it was gentle. It's definitely, I guess the other thing I would mention about it is it definitely was more of a gentle yoga practice. I kind of was under the impression it might be because of the fact that there was a pigeon pose in the thumbnail, and typically, usually don't do that as your thumbnail unless your practice is going to be a little bit more on the recovery, restorative side of things, and I will definitely say that was definitely the case here. Trying to think, was there anything else that just caught my eye when it came to this practice other than the fact that it was just good overall because of my cat? Yeah, it was pretty gentle. A lot of hip rotations. It was hip heavy because, and the pigeon was kind of a hint that was going to be that, and there was also some fire hydrant poses in there, but it was not really vinyasa-ish. And I guess for me, I was hoping for more of that. But yeah, but overall, I enjoyed it though. Let me know if you decide to check it out, what you think of it. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content, or if you don't, please just like, comment, subscribe to the channel, or just engage in any way possible. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.